sure we're going to be seeing different styles of gameplay here. So, Lord, already the teaser back onto Shrine. Yet, same map is going to be played differently.
Yeah, it's different heroes that you're seeing here. Well, I mean, there's a couple of similarities there. I'm going to be really interested in this matchup. Both of these teams are heavy engagement style compositions. The double bubble playing for strength in the mid fight with Slurpee on the Brigida, as well as University of Tennessee playing for that as well. A little more successful teleporter there from St. John's University, pushing them forth onto the objective. However, first touch, they are going to get first touch.
Yeah, they're pushing in. Unfortunately, Jolton taking so much damage is not really going to be able to stay in that fight for very long. University of Tennessee, they're basically benefiting a lot until they lose out. There's Zarya now with the stuns, though St. John's, they still have to play back. You know, it's still working in their favor as now the point is open. St. John's, they don't have any room to engage, and they're basically, taking the time to just play back, look for this poke. I'm guessing, especially for this Nano Blade, as they're coming close up to the Nano, there's Zarya returning into the fight, but their Monkey engaging in, gets that Nano, pushes forward. That's an anti that gets eaten, so it's not really going to be able to do too much. But look at this, the Immortality from Tennessee. They are looking to melt down, and they continue to push forward. Though, it seems that St. John's, they're finally able to find those picks. They're able to break down, and, well, they're going to be able to get capture at this point.
An interesting theme of this particular series is going to be how Jolt and Joe and Mr. Koalaman's engagements help to enable the rest of the team. You saw Liam really help to get things going there with the Nano, but really, looking at the DPS ultimate charge, you didn't see that start generating until Jolton was actually able to engage and elicit the Immortality field from Paravir. Paravir will be coming into this fight with the Amplification Matrix, though. Maybe we'll see a Fire Strike with her.
I mean, more than anything, we need to look to see if they can even drop down on the point to use those ultimates. The high noons, they're being used just to force each other back. Going into these shields, the Shatter goes down, managing to catch out the tanks, and they go in, looking to focus down onto that Ana. Forso gets isolated away from the Brigida. They lose the Zarya, they lose the Genji, and they get melted down on. There is nothing you can do when there is somebody with a giant hammer looking to smash you like a Goomba.
It's going to be Fiscal looking for the stall here. That's an impressive 2 picks secured there, and some nice headway into the next high noon. It's not going to be the Deadeye that finds or nets all the value here in this next fight for St. John's. It's going to be the Nano Blade. All we need is a little bit of feeding from Jolt and Joe or Mr. Koala Man. Generate that Nano Boost and then apply it to if you stay here. Slurpee with the Rally as well will be able to bolster the team's staying presence.
They use this window as a way to try to get an early pick, though it is more used as just a threat, not allowing anybody to touch the point. But you see the Nano Blade come in, the Sound Barrier sustaining doesn't always work, and the Blossom gets canceled out. So at least they have the even trades of ultimates that are just not going to be getting what you need. So they have to pop in that Graviton Surge just to try to make it through, but the high noon doesn't really help it out. It's the Brigida, it's Slurpee, the one who makes the difference, and they are just moving forward, enabling that win as St. John's. They're gonna have another chance to hold this point.
And they're going to have the rally coming into this. It wasn't necessary to expend that in that fight, and so now as we begin to see the point equalize in percentage between these two teams, that's an excellent resource to make sure that you're able to survive this next fight. Continue pushing that envelope of success here. If you stay, unfortunately, going down, but hey, we got ultimates to compensate for the man disadvantage.
I definitely agree. Already we see that rally being used. Though the high noon was looking to mess around, it's the Primal Rage that's truly being the bully, looking for this Baptiste, leaving their own front line open to be brawled on, as Basher is going to be punished. If you stay, moves in, looking to finish off that low Baptiste, entering into the one fight territory. Tennessee, they have one more reset enabled for their back pocket, while St. John's, they are slowly staggering them out.
Oh, and yeah, Lucky's definitely going to get staggered here. That's absolutely brutal, but you've got the window on the side of University of Tennessee to possibly, make a little bit more space, make the space that your Diva would normally be making there. Look, however, at St. John's coming up on another Nano Blade, and you don't have the Sound Barrier from Tennessee to mitigate it.
They have to use that blade just to look to finish it off, and it does its job helping to clean off the Baptiste Gravitic Flux, landing onto the Wrecking Ball. I mean, that's prepared if I've ever seen it. though somebody's still on the point. Oh, it's a Santa Claus! Well, never mind. I guess it's just not Christmas anymore. We're going to be seeing St. John's. They're going to be taking their first point, while Tennessee, they're going to be looking to come up with some new strategies.
Or, you know, kind of like we got to see in our last series, just play to the strengths of the map type, or utilize the map to emphasize the strengths of the comp that they're running. University of Tennessee might be looking for some interesting pathing opportunities here as we head into Sanctum. Really good chances for Noodles to utilize that speed amp to navigate the team around, basically brawl out wherever they want. Ultimately, it's not going to be the name of the game. Like you mentioned, we will see a new strategy employed by University of Tennessee. They're going to be on this double shield lineup, running the conventional heroes Zen and Bap as damage behind it. It's going to be mirrored, for the most part, on the side of St. John's as well. But again, oh no, Slurpee is going to go to the Zen as well, which I think ultimately is the play here. You want that shield cracking potential. You want that defensive ultimate, powerful is what Transcendence is. But man, losing Liam sucks.
Honestly, you just want to see Zen as we see it work to great degrees.
Yeah.
They find the Baptiste. Look at that, Slurpee's gonna be falling down, going back to 7-11, I guess, just to refuel. Tennessee, they have set themselves up, and now they are at least going to have some sustainability because nobody can walk in on this point to try to contest it.
That's really good for them to have this first objective progress. Look at this as well, though. Liam, despite dying first there, still is generating is up to 50% to that Ant Matrix, which is really good. Going to be helpful in clearing up some space here.
I definitely agree. Just look, as this poke comes out, St. John's are heavily, especially Fasco, just looking to get any pick, but I think the Hubs is doing an amazing job across this angle, using those storm arrows, breaking down the shields, and yet Tennessee, they are the ones that are backing up. They do not have as many resources, especially when the window gets used a little bit early, and they just don't have anything to break through it. It seems St. John's, their best way to play is slowly, and now we'll see how long they can be able to hold this point, even if there is a tiny stall coming from that Hanzo.
Yeah, and you know, 40% is a pretty good amount to get on that first objective. You'll be coming into this fight with a matrix of your own. You won't have to play into the destructive power of Liam's Amp Matrix there, and especially when you combo that with the Bongo, the Supercharger from Basher, looking at a lot of significant damage. Ultimately, you might see these ultimates layered, one after the other, instead of both at the same time. That's going to be helpful in generating these other ults.
I definitely see what you mean, though. The Dragon goes through, bringing out the brother, bringing out the crazy man, sending them both back into the asylum, as we see the rest of St. John's just not having enough to fully stay on this point. They do have to come up with another reset.
Thank you kindly.
That's a big win to win that off of just the Dragon Strike and the halt from Basher. That's a really great position to be in, and especially since University of Tennessee dropped that first sub map, they're going to be looking to bring it back. Speaking of bringing things back, it's going to be if you stay with that blade. There's no nano, no amplification of damage to tether to it unless you plant this supercharger from Jolt and Joe somewhere where it's in if you stay's line of sight. So that's looking to be what they want to accomplish.
I definitely agree. I mean, just look, as the pull comes in, it does put pressure on to Zenith before they can use the High Noon. Eventually, just not even going to be able to use it. But St. John's, they've set up for their ultimates, having the Bob. They throw it in to put pressure onto the point, and they are starting to get the ticks onto it. Unfortunately, it gets melted down. The Bungle being used from Tennessee incredibly early. The Blade wanting to make enough work, but being melted down, especially against the Transcendence. It's going to be an ult Fiesta, as we see the Critical Flux. It manages to get canceled through. Tennessee, though, they don't have the edge. The Bungle was saved out, and St. John's, they get more value, though this is at 99%. So, it's still anybody's game.
You've got another stall from the Hubs. I absolutely love that energy, and managed to pick out Fiscal as well there. Zenith is going to get staggered, a little unlucky. Hey, that fight right there, you know, that's why you're looking at, if you stay and you look at Nanoblade, it's not just the damage amplification, it's the damage mitigation as well. So if you stay, swapping to the Hanzo is definitely going to help them live a little bit longer. Thought is also a really stellar example of why you don't Supercharger and Amp Matrix at the same time. You layer those ultimates so that you generate things like the Gravitic Flux quickly. There's another Dragons, though. Is he going to win the fight?
I mean, the Dragon then finds out the counterparts, and it does work. Look at that. The window just melts through. St. John's just not knowing, I guess, how to be able to break through it. It seems that once again, we're going on to that third map. We're going to have to see who finds the edge as Tennessee. They take this, and we're going right over to Village.
It's Village is going to be interesting to me. This is a place where you can run that rush style brawl composition. You might also see the mirror double shield lineup emerge. Definitely the rush is a little bit more popular right now, so it looks like that's what the teams are going to be opting for here. I actually don't mind Nepal, even though Control Point isn't really my personal favorite map mode. Nepal, there's the sub-maps are just, it's great for running all kinds of different compositions. So I'm really enjoying the different looks that we're seeing from both these teams. It's going to be teleporters to get the teams out of spawn. After that, you'll have the speed amplification from Noodles and Slurpee, respectively. And it's going to be just an all-out brawl for the high ground. If you stay on the Doomfist, it's a great hero to run if you're looking to break up a brawl comp. And it's not actually going to be a fight for the high ground here.
It's looking to be rude, that's all I'm saying. They don't really want to go directly on the point. They wait for that punch, and while it goes through and it manages to hit an opponent, it isn't really able to be engaged on. Afterwards, St. John's having to play incredibly slowly. If you stay wanting to respect his opponent as much as possible, and I can definitely understand that, as you don't want to give them that chance. Immortality trying to just give them more room to walk in, but that wall blocks it off and it gets broken, so St. John's not only losing this point, but at least they get the punch. That's what works as a Metra. That's the target that you're really looking to isolate as you get ready to go in for that Reinhardt, just forcing them back. The wall not going to be able to get too much, though. That Reinhardt, it is open, and Pascal, they are going to be picked up. You manage to freeze, you force out the window, and you pop the shatter. So, that's not even what they needed. The Doomfist is still there, and they are committing into this push. That window from St. John's actually getting a lot more value than truly expected, especially with the Doomfist live. That's a 3v2, and they are going to be able to cap the point, even when Tennessee, they had a hold.
Ooh, man, let me tell you, the objective becomes a scary place when it becomes the mirror dimension with those ant matrices staring at each other. The fight isn't over here yet, though. Tennessee's looking to strike back and maintain control of this objective. The beat expended from Slurpee just to make sure that St. John's can cap this, and what a fantastic expenditure to have witnessed by University of Tennessee, drawing out that defensive ultimate when you yourself are coming up on the photon barrier and the blizzard. That's really meaningful. Liam's going to have expert use of the immortality field to make sure that St. John's stays on this objective for as long as possible.
They are looking to TP, however, it is immediately being countered just slightly. Doomfist is still looking for that punch. If you stay, looking to be the menace that they are, as both walls, they are being pushed in, but look at that. If you stay, it's looking to be as aggressive as possible, looking for these punches. They do have the ultimates, but eventually they are going to be falling out. The blizzard being used on those. The entirety of St. John's are now split. They have no room to move forward, and it seems that they are going to be collapsing underneath their own weight, able to bring those time banks up to an equal amount, but not being able to hold it for any longer. University of Tennessee, they're going to be looking bright. That was a lot of ultimates.
Yeah, it was really nice off angle from DeHubs. Really, there was really helpful. Securing if you stay means again that this hero who's helpful at breaking up these rush brawl style compositions. That was really important. And just coincidentally, Mr. Koala Man ended up demeched, so DeHubs was able to just throw the blizzard in there, clear the objective. That was a fight win for University of Tennessee in a couple of regards. Though, look, they're coming up on an ant matrix.
I definitely agree, but they want to play on this high ground. They're just looking to isolate Tennessee's route of escape, and it seems finding the Baptiste was also on that objective as they look to move forward, missing that punch, but the window is still there. Basher looking for that shatter, isn't able to get too much, but if you stay, isn't going to be able to escape. That punish, even with the early pick, is not working to their favor. We see them melt down at 90 seconds. That's not what you want.
No, it felt like we ended up watching Liam separated from the rest of St. John's University as well. The formation just kind of crumbling under the pressure of University of Tennessee, and now a wall in the choke means that there's no opportunity to touch. University of Tennessee will pick up this first map.
I gotta say, and what a good way to bring it out. University of Tennessee just having the edge when it comes down to these fights, and I gotta say, DeHubs having those beautiful walls, isolating you off, not allowing you to get back onto the point. That's what I call a hold. Though they do lead in this series, there are still many more maps to go, and that's just rude. I mean, you had to get to play the game where the rock hits you. That's just unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a nice showcase, though. Again, we got to talk a little bit about this in the previous series. Sigma's just able to do so much, pumps out the damage, and